Hi, welcome to this video. My name is David Kelly. I'm the CTO for Zensa and a Microsoft MVP. This video is going to cover line of business application development on UWP. A line of business application is an application that's designed to perform some business function in business. So that's not going to be consumer-facing games or other entertainment applications. That's not going to be a consumer newsreader, for example. It's going to be something accounting, record keeping, data input, a POC, or the kind of application that you see on a device at a cash register. That's a line of business application. So we're going to go over all of the different aspects of UWP at a high level. But before we dive into engineering samples, code, and other kinds of very specific sorts of things, we want to do an overview in terms of what UWP is and why it's important. In particular, why is it awesome? First of all, using UWP for Windows 10, I can build applications for devices, IoT, for mobile devices, for PCs, for Xbox, Surface Hub, and HoloLens. It's all one universal platform using the devices I'm familiar with and the tools I'm familiar with, and build for all the different devices through the same integrated development environment in Visual Studio, and have those apps put together for use on these different platforms. Now, most line of business applications aren't necessarily going to be devices and IoT and mobile at the same time, but I can use the same infrastructure and coding to build across all of these different platforms, regardless of what I may or may not be wanting to do with that. So Microsoft is committed to the universal Windows platform. So much so, a lot of the things that we're familiar with in Windows 10 are actually built in UWP. That includes even the start menu on Windows. Windows 10 as an operating system consists of some traditional stuff you may be familiar with, MFC or Microsoft Foundation classes and C++, and then WPF, WF, .NET languages, and the .NET runtime that all sits on top of the Windows 10 operating system. Now, what UWP adds is, in place of that, you have the UWP platform that runs as a thin layer on top of the Windows shell. Now, for doing application development, whether it's games or line of business applications or different kinds of things, we have this concept of the .NET languages, C++, C#, and so forth, JavaScript running on top of the UWP platform. And then in terms of rendering our UI, we have XAML, DirectX, HTML. For line of business applications, we're probably going to focus on XAML. In addition to that, Microsoft is working on a number of bridge technologies that allow you to run iOS or Objective-C against the Universal Windows Platform, Java for, say, Android, web-hosted applications, and Win32 desktop stuff, which is all of your applications. Say it could be a WinForms app, or it could actually be Win32 that was originally written in C++, 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So that allows you to run a lot of that stuff on Windows 10 on top of the Universal Windows Platform, and for bringing some of these older technologies onto the platform. Now, for line of business applications, we're going to talk about primarily XAML and .NET languages, so C# in this case. Now, the other thing we're going to talk about with regard to UWP is clouds. Now, I realize as an engineer, the idea of the cloud or calling a cloud a thing is really almost a marketing term, but it does signify kind of our mastery of automated data centers. And you have different kinds of cloud technologies, which are essentially service providers that allow us to use those resources that they're able to farm out, automatically generate and fix and maintain in various data centers around the world. Microsoft in particular has Azure. When we're talking about tools for building line of business applications on the Windows 10 platform using UWP, a lot of the cool things that we're going to be talking about are running on the cloud, in particular Azure. As a line of business application developer for Universal Windows Platform applications, it's important to understand Azure and how Azure and the cloud and cloud-based technologies fits into being able to develop line of business applications on the Universal Windows Platform. So let's go ahead and get started.